Really young pitching staff. It seems like that's one of the big question marks. So what have you seen out of them so far?
They're very competitive. Both the three M's we call them, Maggie, Miranda, and Maggie Miranda and
Megan.
Megan, thank you very much. I kind of forgot them there. But they're very competitive. Megan's the quiet one of the three, and she's actually the oldest one, and she's only a sophomore. So, but the other two are very competitive. They're going to push each other, and that's what we want that healthy competition. Each one brings a little bit different to the table. So not even though they're all throw in the upper 60s, they are just a little bit different.
Do you have any idea
Can you
what
break down all three? It's not a one-on-one tournament.
It's going to kind of break down all three, sure. Well, as you know, with Megan, she's more of a drop ball pitcher, great with her locations, and has a good changeup. But we worked really hard in the offseason on working on her rise ball, and that's come along pretty well. So I feel good about that. Her best part is her composure. I mean, she just doesn't get rattled, and she just looks the same every time. You don't know what's going on out there, with her, but then that can be a good thing. And then, of course, you got Miranda, who was number one recruit in the country last year. She throws very hard. We've really worked on her rise ball, getting true spin on it, because she used to just, at that level, just throw it by people. She has a couple of different speeds. We've worked on a cut drop ball, so she's real excited. I think she's going to be bringing it down there. I really do. I think she's just can't wait to get out there. But she's also a very good hitter as well, so that's a good addition to our lineup in that case. Maggie's been a good surprise. She really moves the ball well east to west. So the other ones are more like up and down, and Maggie's kind of one that has the screwball, curveball kind of thing going on, and that should be interesting to see how she does.
Obviously, you guys lost some key players last year, but still a lot of good veterans. How do you feel about their leadership on this team?
Yeah, exactly. We lost 8 seniors from last year, but the good news is we have most of our infield intact. We have Jenna Lilly over at third base, and she looks awesome this year so far. Nikki Udry at shortstop. Lauren Limble coming back from off-season surgery on her elbow, and her arm looks stronger than ever. So I feel really, really good about that. At first base, some people think I'm crazy putting a 5'2" first baseman over there, but she's awesome at just digging balls out of the dirt and everything else. Mia Camuso, and being a natural lefty, that should help us there as well. And she's really quick getting to the bunts.
Where do you see Linval playing this year?
Lauren's going to be at second base. She's just tremendous over there, and of course she's a kind of a hybrid kind of kid that could play anywhere. But I think she's going to be our mainstay at second base.
You obviously know the country better than the rest of us. Do you have the best left side of the infield in the country?
Oh well, no, that's hard to say. But I think I feel very good about our left side of the infield. There's some very good defensive teams out there, but we'll see if that holds up. Obviously, last year, I think we set a team record for our fielding percentage. I think it was right around 970 or 969, and we'd love to see that get up around 975 over the course of the season. So we'll see if that comes true or not.
The impact of their bats too, though. I mean, what's the value of Jenna and Nikki too?
Yeah, Jenna Lilly to me right now, she just made the U.S. national team again, and with some solid play. Last year I think was kind of like an off year for her, and she still batted well in the 300s. But I think this year, just looking at her preseason, she looks very focused and is hitting the ball very well in preseason.
You talked about losing eight seniors. Talk about bringing in the #1 recruiting class in the nation. How much has that helped your program?
Well, I think it's helped a lot. We don't want to take a year off. We don't want to feel like it's a rebuilding year. We want to feel like we're just going to pick up where we left off last year. Obviously, the key to that is getting a very good pitching staff going. So a lot of it's going to depend on how these other 2 freshmen go. Once we're out from what I see on the bullpen, we look pretty good. But again, you don't win games in bullpens or on paper. So what do we do out there on the field when it comes down to crunch time? That's going to be big, because we know Megan Kleiss is going to be there. She's going to be the consistent force, but what are the other 2 going to bring? And I feel good about that at this point.
You talk about the pitching freshmen. What about the ones who play in the field? Talk to me about them. Do you anticipate them, having much of an impact this year?
Well, I think Mia Camuso is the one we talked about. I think she's going to be a solid, maybe 5-6 hitter in the lineup. Then you got Shannon Rhodes, who's another kid who can play third base. Or play in the outfield, and I think she's going to work her way into the outfield. She's pretty solid out there so far. Hitting wise, we don't know quite yet. She's having her good days and her bad days, and you kind of expect that with the freshmen, but when she has her good days, it's pretty good. So we like that.
You guys had a brilliant season, but the way it ended, did that kind of fuel the veterans coming back, their off season and their motivation?
Well, I don't know about the veterans, but for me it's been like a rock under my pillow. There's not too many days where I don't think about that when I come back to the field. In fact, the first day back out the field, all I remember is that home run going over with 1 out in the 7th, and it was a tough pill to swallow. And of course, trying to get a team once we lost that momentum, trying to change that team around with 20 minutes, it was just almost impossible. But they've changed that rule this year. So, but it is what it is. Hopefully, we can learn from that. What really let us down was we didn't hit the ball in the big game there at the end. But this year, I think that the seniors are determined to make up for that. Yes.
How different is the excuse me, the dynamic with the pitching staff this year, because you have sophomores and freshmen, and you had Jess Moore, she was a senior, Sheridan came in as a freshman, and obviously the same story with Sheridan and Megan. So how different is the dynamic this year now that you have some underclassmen there?
Well, I think that we're just deeper than we've been before. Last year I always knew we had one top pitcher, and then maybe the other ones definitely a two pitcher. Then the other ones were kind of working the way and see if we could use them at all. This year I feel confident we'll use all three pitchers. I feel that strongly about these three pitchers, that they're going to be three deep, not just one or two deep. So
When was the last time you had three pitchers that you felt this confident that you could use throughout the whole year?
I don't know if we really ever did have that. Maybe when we had Moore, Hawkins, and Hovengay, but Hovengay only pitched maybe 5-6 games that year because Sheridan was so dynamic. As a freshman coming in, and Jess Moore just wanted the ball, so it's hard to take it away from her. And so this year, but at this point in the season, I'm looking forward to using all three. So that's going to be exciting.
What does the outfield look like defensively?
That's probably the most open of all of them. We have some speed. If we put Puentes and we put Mac, who's the transfer from South Carolina, and she's been hitting the ball extremely well, so she's got to play somewhere. And you put Mikado out there. There's three pretty good speedsters, but defensively, it hasn't really been their number one position. So maybe they can run it down, but can they catch it? That's a question for us, and their arm strengths and stuff like that. But I feel good about the freshman Haley Cruz. I've got a very strong arm out there, so maybe defensively, if we need to throw somebody out the plate or make a big throw, that's someone we could throw out there. Shannon Rhodes, stronger arm. So I've got some bits and pieces there. We just got to find out who's going to be out there every single day. So it is the most open position-wise on the team.
You had that battery, Sheridan and Janelle, that you could count on for so long. Just what's it been like moving on with them off the field, in meeting rooms or whatever, without those two? And it seems like kind of a new face of this team.
Yeah, it definitely is, because Janelle was really like a secondary bullpen coach, and she worked them every day and was so attentive to detail as far as their mechanics and what they were throwing, and knew what to say. No wonder she's in a psychology major, right? She knew what to say at the right time to help bring out the best in those pitches. So losing her is a tough one, but Gwen is she's there. She's going to try and pick up that slack. She's by far our number one catcher. Behind her would be April Utek, who's been swinging the bat very well, but just not quite as good behind the plate and throwing people out. And then Maddie Bishop is a converted first baseman that we're having as our number 3. So it will be the first year we don't really have two strong catchers back out there, but hopefully Gwen will be able to play a lot of games for us.
What do you think of the Cochecola Classic coming up?
It's we play Virginia right off the bat, ACC team. They've got some strong bats out there, but the pitching, they have a kid that throws 63, 65, and so it'll be a good little test for us first game. I think we have Creighton, kind of like a team we haven't played in a while. I think maybe my first game as a college coach was against Creighton, and it was actually Carissa Hovengay's sister, I think, was thrown out there. Against us. So it's kind of like bringing back some memories of that time, but again, a team that if we play up to our capabilities, you should be able to handle. Probably the two toughest tests of the weekend probably would be, or three actually, Fresno State, San Jose State, and Cal Poly. Cal Poly has a pitcher that's in the top 50 in Sierra Highland. She can be a dominant force, so there's some tests down there for sure if we get too far ahead of ourselves. So we're just going to make sure that we pitch well, field well, and come up with those timely hits. We're a different offense. We're not as much home runs. We're more gap to gap. We've got to be able to use that short game and use our speed.
Thanks, Mike.
So much.
Thank you.